What's up everyone, I'm Graham, I'm new to YouTube so bear with me. I've been wanting to do this for a while and I said, why not, what could be better than review Game of Thrones as your first YouTube video. And I'm going to review episode 5 season 4. My god, what an episode. There was a lot of shit that went down in this episode. But let's start off, shall we, with Daenerys. I thought that scene was great. When I saw her with the council I was like, oh, this is awesome. Set up her own type of government, you know, like in Westeros with the small council. And she had her own council and poor Jorah, he's never going to get with the friend zone. It's sad, but you gotta bear with him. And it's just times when Barristan, I love Barristan, me, but when he goes against Jorah, and when they're arguing, I'm like, I love you man, but stop. Like, Jorah's the homies, he's the original homie. He's been there with Dany from the beginning. I'm looking forward to see how that goes. And when Daenerys said, do we have enough to take Westeros, I was like, oh my god, shit is going down. But I was thinking, it is a formidable force, but I don't think it's enough to take over Westeros yet. I mean, Westeros has a lot of people. They may be in a war at the moment, but they have a lot of people. And I think Dany would be better off to see until the dragons get bigger. And I said to myself, well, fuck Westeros. Why don't you rule here first? Make this country great. Rule over. Make so there's peace. You can build a bigger army out of this country. And then you can go to war when the dragons are proper size. And I look forward to that day when she crosses the Narrow Sea and finally attacks King's Landing. By God, that's going to be a great day for us all there. I think that's all I've said for Dany. Moving on. King's Landing. A lot of shit happened in King's Landing. But I'm very surprised with Cersei. When I saw her with Marjorie, I was like, oh God. Here we go, She-Hulk versus the future Queen is going down. And I was very surprised to see that Cersei was actually acting civil with Marjorie. It surprised me a little. It caught me off guard. I was like, wait, this bitch who's been plotting from the entire show is now suddenly saying, my son needs your help. He'll need help ruling the throne. I was like, is this a trick? Does he have an angle here? But then I was like, oh my God. She is legitimately trying to have an adult conversation with Marjorie. And I was like, well, that's a new one. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy. I'm just like, I still don't buy it. I still think she has a long-term plan for Marjorie. Well, we gotta think of it this way. Her daughter isn't Dorne. Her other son Joffrey's dead. Yeah, I know. Who's very sad with that, right? Let's be honest. But now Tommen is like the last one she has. So I'm guessing she'll do anything it takes to protect him. I mean, what else can you do if your mother in that situation? And, well, what's next? Then move on to our second scene, I believe. Was it our second scene? Yeah, sorry, with Tywin. When I heard of Tywin, when he said that they're in debt to the Iron Bank, I was like, this is the main Lannister. This is the head of the Lannister house. Probably the most badass character on the show. Arguably. And he's saying that they're in debt, that their gold mines have been empty for 3 years. I was like, oh God. Because I've heard Iron Bank are supposed to be like, they will get what is owed to them. And I'm like, they don't think like someone you want to be fucking with. So I'm just like, please don't have the time. And like, honestly, I love the Lannisters, especially Tyrion and Tywin. And I do not want to see them die or some bad happen to them. But when you can tell by Cersei's face, he's like, we're in death. And you can tell that this is a giant shock for both of them because they're not used to being in debt. They're the Lannisters, I mean, the Golden Lion. And then finally to our last scene, when she's with Ogren. I know this scene was very touching. Even though Ogren detests her and the Lannisters, and Cersei isn't fond of Ogren, they still managed to have an adult conversation about Cersei's daughter. And when she asked him to send the ship back to her daughter, Ogren said yeah. And I was like, as much as they hate her, it was a nice moment because they won't understand how important it is for a parent to be connected to their child. So it was a nice moment. Oh, and then we move on to probably the biggest shock by far of the show, well, episode, and that's that Littlefinger. Well, that's that. When they got to Aerie and Lysa and Sansa talked, I did not think that this was the first time they have ever met or seen each other. I thought they'd met each other before, and This brings up a lot of interesting questions. But sadly, we found later that Liza's just a crazy bitch, and I'm worried for Sansa, honestly. I mean, would you want to be stuck there with that crazy bitch? Yeah. Anyway, the sock is Littlefinger got Lisa to poison John Arryn's drink. So therefore, Littlefinger is literally responsible for everything. I mean, it started with John Arryn, and Littlefinger's the guy who started all. I was like, you're the one responsible for Ned dying. You bastard. But I was like, Littlefinger's arguably my favourite character since season 1, and the fact I found he did this, I was like, half of me was like, oh, why? And the other half was like, awesome. All I can say is, I am very interested to see where he goes with this. I have a feeling he has a long-term plan. I think that his plan isn't even done yet, that it's only beginning. I think he has something long-term that's going to take out everyone. I am very interested to see where he goes. Very interested. And then it's more into Liza and Sansa talking. Liza seems to get very jealous of Sansa. Like, she thinks Littlefinger has something for her. And when she grabs Sansa's hands, I was like, why does he love you, or why do you love him? I was like, Sansa, do not say anything. Do not say anything that could put you in danger. Just run. Just fucking run. Honestly, I'm just still shocked that Littlefinger is the guy behind it all. I mean, seriously. I was like, whoa. I knew this guy was devious, but this is a whole different thing. Mind blown. Well, this is the first part done for my Game of Thrones review. I'll do the second half next. Just tune in for the second video if you like, subscribe and comment as always, because I do want to know what you think. I'll be back in a couple of minutes.